The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, is brought to you by, well, of course, you. If you want to learn more about how you can support the show, go to patreon.com/thearena_podcast.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait!
Okay, now, from the beginning.
Hit it, boys.
Hey everyone, and welcome into The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 84. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming on Twitch and Turn-Based Carl. Burley, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, even though I got shut down before we started up here. How are you?
Burley was just flipping his fingers around like, yeah, he was running wild there, yeah. So.
Oh, you're counting down. You're going like 5, so I'll go 5, 4.
All right. How you doing, Carl?
Good. I got my regular tea instead of my delicious Arizona energy drink.
Okay. Does it have a little bit of spiritual opium in there for you? Yeah, of course.
It's oolong tea, so there's a good chance that they slip something in there.
All right. So I'm doing good, man. The weather's it's kind of been one day raining here, the next day sunny. Today was sunny and cooler, so yeah. But and I've already uncovered the air conditioning unit here in the room, so it's getting closer to summer, unfortunately, when it comes to the weather. So Carl, you know what I'm talking about. So it's like almost every day where you are.
Yeah, it was like
humid weather,
pouring rain last night, and maybe the night before. We did our evening walks were canceled. Can't take the baby out in the rain. She's not gonna be happy about that.
Yeah. All right, so we got a big show for you. We're going to be talking a lot of Xbox news. Of course, I got my Xbox hat on for this episode, so we got a lot of Xbox news. The Halo Infinite roadmap. We're talking about that.
That's a nice hat. I think you should wear it all the time.
If there's Xbox related news, Carl, I shall wear it. But if there's
he's got a Sony hat, but the real question is, does he have a Nintendo hat?
I do have a Nintendo hat. I wore it a couple of weeks ago on the show, Burley.
Oh yeah, you get the Mario hat.
That's right.
Mario hat.
But either way, it's a nice design. I like
thanks, man.
Good choice.
Thanks. Thank you, sir.
It is a good design.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking a lot of Xbox news, and then we're going to be talking in the topic of the show about the new PlayStation Plus. The premium tier is going to require developers to create demos, and so. Are these developers going to get compensated for that? We're gonna discuss that and talk about that issue and all. But first, before we talk about the games that we've been playing or streaming this past week, here's a quick word about where you can find the podcast.
Before the crew discuss what they've been playing, this episode of The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast, and the post-show, in audio and video formats, will be going to Patreon in early access for one day after recording. So if you would like to support the show and become a patron at the entry tier 1 level at $1 per month and get early access to every episode and post-show in audio and video formats, as well as watch or listen ad-free, please visit patreon.com/thearena_podcast for further details. Weekly on Sundays, the podcast will be uploaded to all free podcast services. Weekly on Wednesdays for the post-show, where you can find us on any podcast app for iOS or Android, Spotify, Amazon Music, and in video format on our YouTube channel, The Arena Productions. For the audio version, just download your favorite podcast app or open Spotify and search for The Arena, a multi-platform gaming news podcast. Subscribe, follow us, post a review, and leave us questions, comments, and feedback if you like, if that feature is available there, and spread the word about the podcast. We also have a Discord called The Arena Podcast, where you can join and chat with the Arena Podcast community, and the podcast website is at thearenapodcast.podbean.com, where you can follow us and leave questions and comments as well. Finally, you can also follow us on Twitter at the Arena AMPGNP, as well as on Instagram at the Arena_podcast. Now Now, back to the show.
Okay, guys, let me go ahead and talk about what I was playing earlier today. And it's on Game Pass, and it's in game preview. And I'll show you the image of it, some images of it here. These are some screenshots from the game called Anvil. So it's called Anvil Vault Breaker, and it really reminds me of the Housemarque twin stick shooters. So I started playing this. It's really cool. You're going from planet to planet, and so you're breaking into these vaults. So these pieces of artifacts from different alien civilizations, and as you're going through it, you're having to battle these different types of aliens and everything. So it's basically, like I said, it's a twin stick shooter, and you're going around and you're picking up different weapons. And of course, there's like plus symbols for health as you're running around through the game and all. So there's different environments. So like there's frozen environments, there's like desert environments. So depending on the planet that you're dropping on, and the difficulty level spikes with every different planet that you're going to. But it's fun to play.
It's got multiple biomes. Whoa.
Multiple biomes, yeah. So, yeah.
Buzzword 2022. Biome. maybe also 2021. Probably 2021.
All right. So, but anyway, yeah. So, like, you get like certain types of flamethrowers and everything as well. So, but yeah, like I said, the level difficulty spikes with the enemies. I got to maybe I think it was the third or fourth planet. I don't remember, but it's, playing as single player. You can also play in multiplayer with this as well, but I was playing single player. It gets pretty difficult as you go along. So here you go, like the suit upgrade stations, so you can get certain upgrades, and then your relic chests. So the relics that you're getting as you go through each planet, different types of relics, and they, like you can get different poison targets, immunity devices that you can use throughout the stages and all. So so Anvil Vault Breaker, that's what I was playing today. And I've also, of course, been playing more Watch Dogs Legion, and it's, like I said, it's more Watch Dogs. And I was telling you and everybody that's listening and watching in the last episode that I was looking forward to getting to the parts of the game where you actually start recruiting like other people on the street. And I actually started recruiting some people, and I recruited a construction worker. And it's really weird. Like there's one point in the game, one of the missions, where you have to get on this big drone and you have to carry like this core for like a data core. You have to transfer it from one point to another and put it on a truck. And so I had to find it at this construction site. So I went ahead and recruited some random construction worker there. And he gets on the drone and takes it for you. So it's interesting in a way, but I mean, it's just more Watch Dogs. There's not much about it that's really any different from, say, the second game, I would say, so far. Only in the sense that you can actually recruit a lot of other characters that are like walking on the streets. One of my initial characters got like taken out and thrown in jail, and so I had to use my second character of the initial three characters that you start the game with, and you can recruit with any of those three characters. So,
can you get them out of jail? How does that work?
No, they just automatically get out of jail once you complete different missions. They just show back up. Okay. They just show back up in your hideout. So
they serve their time.
They serve their time. Yes.
Oh, you don't get to do a jailbreak?
Slap on the wrist.
No, I don't think so. I didn't try it. I just, played the next mission with the other character. And then when I went back to the hideout, that the first character was back in there already. So yeah, they just served their time, I guess. So, all right. Carl, we'll go to you next. What have you been playing this past week?
I got two. I got Weird West and the Lost Eidolons beta.
Cool.
So I'll start with Weird West. I think I just looked it up. I put about 12 hours, it looks like, into Weird West so far.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I played more, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Weird West is fun. It's cool. I really like this game a lot. I guess I would say it's like a bit of an action RPG.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's that sort of isometric, sort of kind of. I feel like I'd say it's somewhat like a Diablo type of thing in some ways. I wouldn't say like the loot system is nowhere near as like deep as that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's an interesting story. At first, it seems like pretty simple that you start as this bounty hunter woman. She's looking for her husband after someone took her and killed their kid. But it's a little bit of a spoiler to say this, but I'm gonna say it because I think it's important to explain like what the way this game's telling story.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody doesn't want to hear anything, give you a second to react, think about. But so you play as multiple characters in this game, and I didn't even know that going in, but maybe it seems obvious. I wasn't paying attention in the beginning. There's like a first scene in the game is like this thing with this room, and there's these things of paintings or pictures on the wall that are, I think, signifying all the characters that you're gonna play. And there's some sort of link or bond, some mystical thing going on that someone's sort of like possessing these characters for some reason, and they're not remembering what happened. And you're going. It's like you're on a mission through several people for some reason.
Okay. And
what's cool is that you can, once you finish the story with one character, you can recruit that character to be on your posse and be and play, just come back with you, and you can get your stuff, whatever equipment they had. I thought I was going to lose everything, but like, no, they still have all their inventory. So you just get them to join you. And yeah, it's like, the action is very much like there's like a lot of things in the environment that you can mess with, like barrels you can blow up, and like, other environmental effects that can happen. Like you can get somebody wet and then hit them with lightning and it'll spread on the water, or there's like a torch or something that you can like spread fire, and then you can throw something that makes it blow up even more, or some poison barrels, and there's all kinds of cool stuff like that. It's fun. You got like slow-mo, you get all these different weapons, you even get melee attacks you can do. It gets a little crazy and hectic. Like I like to stealth, and like the stealth in the game, and it works well. You can sneak out people and take them out, grab their bodies and hide them. You can try to stealth everyone if you want. So I usually like to stealth, and then once you're discovered and things kind of get crazy and hectic, sometimes it's just like mayhem, and you're just like, oh my god. And it's one of those games where it's like you can experiment and you can attack the situation in many different ways, and you can like, you want to save often because you'll die if you just run into the situation like an idiot. You might just die stupidly. But it's fun because it's like, knowing that you're like, all right, I'll save it, I'll try and do this stupid thing, it didn't work, whatever, start over, fight him again, just keep doing it. It's just a fun combat system that's not too serious.
Okay.
There's like a perk system that carries over across all characters, which is cool. So you start getting the perks on the one character and you have those for the next character. But then there's an ability thing also that doesn't carry over. And everybody has the same abilities for the weapon types, but each character has their own unique set of like 4 abilities they can get.
Okay.
And these are special combat abilities that do various different things, I don't want to get too far into that, but it's interesting. Like, I feel like that system could be better. I find myself like, I don't need to use the special abilities that much. Like, use the slowdown, maybe use 1 or 2 abilities just for whatever. But you can kind of get through situations without them.
Okay.
So maybe they could do better with that. The loot is kind of basic. The guns, like, they're just more damage, basically. You get new guns, you can upgrade them, and you get armor and upgrade that and all that stuff. There's not a lot of like different sort of effects on weapons, like this is interesting that there's like lightning effects that you can do, but those are with abilities, and the weapons don't natively have those things. It would be cool if they had more stuff like that. Cool. But yeah, it's a fun game. I really enjoy it a lot. I want to keep playing it.
Nice.
And then Lost Eidolon's beta, which I jumped into like the first night a little bit, and there's like a significant bug. I was like, oh, this isn't. That's disappointing. But they fixed it already. I'm surprised like that happened, but you know, I mean, they're a new studio. They've probably never made an Xbox game, so
okay.
and they did a PC beta before, so like the PC version probably didn't have as many issues.
I see.
There was an issue with the HDR. If you had HDR turned on, the whole thing looked messed up, and you had to shut it off and it would work. Yeah, yeah, it looked real bad, like with the HDR on. It was interesting because once I turned it off and looted it up, I'm like, oh, that's what it's supposed to look like. All right, it's completely different. It's 100% wrong. The save function didn't work, but now it does. So like I lost my progress in the demo. I had to start over. But yeah, it's the same. It's similar to what I played, but now they got the voice acting in it, and the voice acting is good. I like it. It's doing a good job of that. I feel like they may have added a few more. It's a turn-based strategy RPG. It's very much like Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem is their heavy inspiration on this. Burley, you played some Fire Emblem Three Houses, right?
I've played quite a few of the other Fire Emblem games as well. So.
Yeah, so it's like they are aping so much from that game because they have like the camp system, which is like when you get to the camp, it's just like the Garreg Mach thing, where there's an area to walk around. Your characters are there. You can talk to them. You can build up relationships with them. They got, what else do they have? They have, the monsters in that game. Like they're like the 4 square, like big monsters. They got those. Cool. and they have the same sort of like break their defense thing. Like they really copied it, but it's a little different in that like you have to break there's out of the 4 squares, 2 of the squares will be a specific type of weapon or attack. And you have to break that defense by hitting that square. So like you have to hit it with a sword or an axe or spell to break those squares. And that's how you do the real damage to them. Otherwise it's hard to do any damage to them. And those weakness squares change every turn. So you can't just keep doing the same thing, obviously. So they don't really. They even copy how your characters get the like abilities that based on like their weapon, right? And you get like X skill level 1, like they have that, and you equip that, and it gives you can see the direct inspiration. But
okay, so they played a lot of Fire Emblem.
Yes, definitely heavily inspired by that game. But like the graphical style is very different, and it's good. I like the visuals. I like the animations, the spells. It's all really cool, and I'm excited to see how this game turns out.
All right, cool. Thanks, Carl. And Burley, what have you been playing or streaming this past week?
I've got a small variety. I finished Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin.
Okay.
And Greg, that final boss is tough. The last couple bosses, like I was really well prepared, but that last boss, highly recommend you bring either a white mage job or the sage job. Preferably the sage job, so that way you have easy access to white and black magic. And in that second half of that fight, keep casting Protect and Regen, or you will die quick.
I see.
But I really enjoyed that game, and it kind of sucks that game's going to get kind of just overshadowed and forgotten because of Elden Ring and other titles. But we will make an extra take on that. I also started up Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga. And funny enough, it lets you start either episode 1, 4, or 7.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay. Yeah, originally I got told by a friend it makes you start at episode 4. So I started episode 1 because I'm like, I might as well just go get the prequels done, and then go to 4 through 6, and then just end it there. Never do 7 and 9, 8, 9.
Should do 7.
Yeah,
7's worth it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah. But seven's already come out, so I mean
that's true. Yeah.
So. But they do change it quite a bit. Like episode 1, the thing goes at like the story in this really goes at breakneck speed. Like I think episode 1 took me about 2 hours, and that's even with me taking like a 10-minute just doing other stuff in my chat. It was but it was a lot of fun, and they do add like game style changes, like when you're at the one point of episode 1 where the Gungans are battling the droids, it goes to tower defense mode. Okay. So you're using the catapults as it's tower defense, Space Invaders. It's kind of neat.
Cool. Yeah, it's interesting. You were talking about Final Fantasy there, and there was some news this week that Final Fantasy 16 is close to being finished. I don't know how close it is really.
No, I think we're going to get another trailer or something reveal, because now they've updated the PlayStation page, but they've also done that with like God of War and other stuff.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the last game I've played this week was Three Houses. I'm slowly working my way through that.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, they had previously said that they're going to show some stuff for Final Fantasy 16 this year. Yeah. So I don't think there's any chance it's coming out this year. I don't know why you would expect that. They've never ever said that it's coming this year. So why would they try to stick to that? I mean, I don't know. And plus, they got Forspoken pushed back to what was it?
October,
right? Yeah. So what are they gonna? They're not gonna put it. They'd have to put it farther back than that, and then they're gonna. Yeah. I don't know if they care if they'd run up against other games, but I don't know if that's what they would do.
I think it's October 22nd, if I'm not mistaken, when Forspoken is coming out now. And I was at Yodobashi today, and they're now they have a new Square Enix section in the game section, and they have they finally updated the release date on the boxes for Forspoken, so to October 22nd, I think it is. So yeah, we'll see if that sticks. Forspoken,
it's somewhere in end of October.
I think it's the 22nd. I don't remember. I saw it today, so yeah.
You cannot predict what Square is going to do. Just strange bunch of guys over there.
All right.
Dude, Octopath Traveler is still not on PlayStation.
That I don't get.
Don't understand.
It came as a Switch launch, and I'm glad I have it on my Switch.
Yeah.
But then it came to Xbox and Game Pass. But
that's where I got
PlayStation?
it.
Yeah, it came to PC before that. Like this is a staggered release. So like Switch, PC, Xbox, and like PC. PlayStation, who knows? I don't know. They're just too busy. They're like, whatever. Just don't have the time. I doubt there's like an exclusivity deal from Xbox to be weird.
Yeah.
I think they would have done that.
All right. So let's go ahead and get to the weekly news beat. So earlier this week, and I know Burley has a lot to say about this, and maybe Carl does as well. I'm not sure. But Halo Infinite, of course, they got their roadmap for 2022 dropped. And I'll go ahead and throw the link to the article here for all of you that are watching in video format. So anyway, the game will be launching its second season on May 3rd, and 343 Industries says that the upcoming season will feature 2 new maps named Catalyst and Breaker, 3 new game modes, including King of the Hill, Land Grab, and Last Spartan Standing, and bonus, quote, narrative events, end quote, involving, quote, interference, end quote, and, quote, alpha pack, end quote, releases, although little has been revealed about this latter edition for now. Notably, Forge will also be returning as part of an open beta test for Season 2, followed by even more maps, modes, and narrative events for Season 3, as well as new sandbox items, another 100-tier battle pass, and even more quality of life improvements. So, So, Burley, take it away, man. You had some things to say about this. I know you did on the morning show a little bit, but go for it, man.
I think this is good. I think all games should be staggered releases like this. That we should all just be idiots and pay for no. I was waiting for one of you guys to call me out.
Hey, it's a free to play service game. I mean, that's how it goes. You got to stagger.
And for all of you video viewers, I'm going to also throw up the roadmap here. So there you go. There's the roadmap for the 2022 season. So go ahead, Burley.
If it was only free to play and you could only get it through Game Pass or download it for free, this I wouldn't mind. But because they are selling for full price in stores, and half of the box set, like Half the features on the box are not included. You have to wait. This is where I get mad. Like, still, co-op campaign, their target is August. They're not committing to August. Let's be honest. They're just saying that to make you feel good. I don't think it's coming in August. I think it's coming at the 1 year mark.
Yeah, but don't you want to make anybody feel good, Burley? I mean, that's the point.
I want to make people feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first time they put a month on it, right?
Yeah, that's the first time they put a month. But they've already stated, and we've talked about this on the morning show, they are far behind, and they admit they're far behind, and they know they can't handle the demand, and that people are just going to have to wait and be patient with them. Yeah. They have said this. So, I can't see that coming in August. I'd love to be wrong. I really hope to be wrong on this. Mm-hmm. But I just think with everything that's going on, and they keep saying, I just see it's not coming in August. It's nice that 2 new maps, like King of the Hill. I think we all agree King of the Hill should have been there day 1 for multiplayer mode.
I don't even know what King of the Hill is, to be honest.
It's
okay. If you're the winner, you're on top of the hill. I mean, that's what King of the Hill represents, right?
I have an idea of how it works.
How King of the Hill works is there'll be like this little circular thing that goes there, and in there, if you're playing it on team, you're getting points every second you're in there and all that. Uh-huh. So you want to stay there and get in there and get the points. But if multiple players get in there, it says hills contested, so no one gets points. So you got to kill each other. Get each other out of the hill, but the hill doesn't stay in one location. It'll change every 2 minutes or whatever the time thing.
They have another mode that's sort of similar to that has like moving locations that you have to control.
Yeah, I think Control Zone or something like that. But
yeah, so like King of the Hill, like that.
King of the Hill was huge back on Halo 2 and Halo 3. It was a lot of fun on Xbox Live. Just doing all this stuff, but like
Last Spartan Standing sounds like the good one. That actually sounds very interesting.
That is a good one and fun mode. I haven't played it in years, but it's like to not have some of these modes at release for a big free to play multiplayer game. Mm-hmm. Kind of, I don't get it. Like it's nice. I understand we're not getting all the maps, and they're slowly going to stagger maps, but like. To not have some of these core modes, like Forge, I don't care. I wasn't too mad at that one's not on release, and that one takes a bit because I never got huge into Forge.
Yeah, I mean it seems cool. I mean Forge would allow people to create a lot of interesting things. It might fill in the gaps for them, but that shouldn't be necessary.
Yeah.
I think Destiny had modes like this as well too, kind of like King of the Hill and Last Man Standing. And stuff
it
like
had
that.
a PvP that I don't think very many people were into. So was it Iron Banner or something?
Iron Banner, I think it was. There was one of them, I think. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Carl, what are your thoughts on this roadmap?
I mean, I think the content here is okay. I don't think it's great. I don't think it's bad. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people are like 6 months for a season isn't good for something like this. I don't play these type of games. I don't play service games. I don't play pretty much any free to play games. So this kind of stuff to me, I'm like, I don't know. I think people are putting way too much. I don't know. Expectations on these things because like it's free. It's a free game. Like you're not paying for this stuff. So I understand 343. You have to give them a break on this because like they're telling everyone, and no one really seems to care anymore that like we're not doing crunch at all. And Microsoft kind of as a whole is trying to do that. And this was like, it's funny because like that becomes a big deal when you hear about it and everyone's like, oh, crunch is bad. You bad developer. You're a bad man. Don't do that. when you hear like the bad stories. But then when a company's like, we're not doing it, and therefore our game is delayed and content is delayed, people are like, you're bad. Why are you deleting our content? So
you're bad
I mean,
regardless.
Yeah. So like, it's like there's no win scenario for these guys, and I get like, people need more content because if you want to keep the player base, I get it. But like the core of this game is really good, right? So like people, it's a popular franchise. Like if 6 months comes and the content's really good, then people should come back, right? Like I don't get the mentality of like, I'm gonna play this one game forever, and it needs to constantly feed me content or I'll never be happy. I'm like, so you're telling me you're never gonna play anything else? Like your expectation is that you need one game to fulfill your entire needs for the 3-month season, like, or 6-month season. Like, just
if you want
jump
something,
in and out.
If you want something like that, play Fortnite or play Apex or play Valorant or something like that. I mean,
yeah. And the difference is like, it's not a battle royale. So like, the way content needs to be developed for a game like this is very different. Like, people like 2 maps. That's not enough. I'm like, is 6 months enough to make a AAA like current gen competitive balanced multiplayer map? Maybe that's the time you need to do it right and not have it be garbage. Like, I don't think it's fair to put that much expectation and pressure on them to rush out more and more content, like, because then you're just going to end up with bad content, and that would be probably worse for your game. So, be patient. Just be patient. Like, if the player base falls off and the game falls apart, then that sucks, and that's I guess they failed. But you gotta. If you like what you're playing and you knowing that they're going to keep making content, they're not giving up on it, then come back when it's there, and try to talk about like what you actually like about it instead of complaining about what's not there. Maybe like talk about what's actually there. Yeah. Because like I get like Burley's argument, and it's a very valid argument. You cannot say that the co-op that they promised should, that's on the box, like you said, like that's separate from this. Like that's the single player game. Yeah, that's that's a whole other issue. Like all this free to play stuff, though, like I think it's unfair to put so much pressure on these devs making free to play content games, because the cycle is brutal, and you've heard that before. Yeah,
I agree with you on the free to play part stuff. I agree that part I'm not as mad. I just kind of wish King of the Hill and some of those other modes were in there at the beginning. 2 maps to me is fine for the amount that pushing out, because I know they are working hard and because they've got to get the co-op campaign and all this other stuff that they promised. They're trying to get out. So I'm willing to be understanding on that.
And even the modes, like, I mean, like I'm not gonna say like they shouldn't have had more modes, right? But I do understand that there is a lot of QA testing that's going to be involved in making sure these modes don't have bugs and problems. So, and this is a brand new engine. They had to rebuild the whole thing. So I don't think it's fair to expect to have every mode, at launch that's ever been in Halo. Right. But yeah, maybe they could have had more. Like that's true. But how many? I don't know. I don't know. But like, there's a lot of testing going to make sure that these modes work properly, and they're competitive gameplay modes. You can't have them not working properly. It's a huge issue.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. So also Xbox, they had some pretty good sales numbers. And competing with PlayStation and Switch. Obviously, the Switch is still number one, but they had its best March sales performance in 11 years. So bringing in more money than Switch or PS5, actually. And I don't have this up, but we were talking on Twitter, I think it was Carl, about the Japanese sales. I think the latest numbers came out March 16th, over 6,000 units of the Xbox Series X, Series S sold in Japan.
Yeah, the reason that number was pointed out as significant was because that was like the height of the units per week for Xbox Series, ever. They've reached that same height that they've ever had, which is interesting that's happening now,
Yeah, and let me go ahead and for all of you video viewers, I'll throw the link to the article that I'm reading from here, and I'm going to read some of the NPD numbers that came out as well. So according to the stats released by NPD, video game analyst Matt Piscatella, industry hardware sales were 515 million in March, down 24% from 2021, and 1.2 billion in quarter one, down 15% from 2021. But despite that, this is the best March result for Xbox hardware sales in a long time, with the most total units sold since March 2011 and the most revenue for March since 2014. So just a few months after the Xbox One was released. Yeah. So I mean, good news for Xbox, and it looks like even though there are still chip shortages and all, I think they're doing the best that they can, and I think it's affecting PlayStation maybe a little bit more, but Xbox is doing really well. What do you guys think? Carl, I'll start with you on this one. The Xbox is performance.
Yeah, it's great to hear that for them. Like, absolutely, Xbox needed this. Obviously the supply is an issue.
Yeah.
There was a story going around that Microsoft sort of had gotten a deal to secure, more, chips and stuff. However that deal happened, that to get more over PlayStation, whatever it was. I mean, as businesses do, Microsoft's a very large corporation, makes a lot of products. Maybe they were able to leverage a good deal, or maybe PlayStation. See, the thing is, like, people don't consider PlayStation possibly had their deal earlier, right? Because it seems that they had more PS5 units in the first year than Xbox had Series units.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe it's just a fluctuation, right?
Yeah.
On that part. But yeah, I mean, selling, higher dollar amount than Switch, not units, but then very clearly, obviously, they're also selling more units than PS5 for this quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like Microsoft. I have to say, like, everything fell into place for them to put them in this position where they are back in competition with PlayStation again. Because if you think about, like, if they didn't make the S, right, they just decided they weren't going to do that, and there wasn't this shortage.
Yeah.
I mean, where would we be right now?
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I think PlayStation would be farther ahead than they are, but
and then another caveat. Also, remember, what if they didn't buy Bethesda? This year, what would they have? The two big, like, AAA first party games are Bethesda games.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about those later. I mean,
I'm not saying it would be all doom and gloom. I mean, because the Series X is good hardware, and Game Pass is still good. It would still exist and still be good. But, like, man, stuff definitely fell into their favor with all of this stuff. And the Series S, at first, people were joking and thinking it was a bad idea, but it turned out that, and maybe they were somehow able to foresee that we were going to have some sort of shortage, because, I mean, everybody needs chips for everything now, and it's a huge problem for every company now. Somehow they foresaw that, and the Series S uses significantly less of these components.
Which is interesting, because I've seen on some sites that that post, like, photos of particular stores. Some stores have more S's than X's, or vice versa. It's kind of interesting.
I mean, S's are on shelves. That's the thing. Like, you're not really going to find an X or a PS5 on shelves, but S's are, and they're selling. I go to my local Target and I check almost every time, and it fluctuates between 5 and 0 units of Series S. So, like, they are selling them.
Yeah, well, here in Japan, in Yodobashi, I mean, they always have X's and S's now. Okay. Every week that I go in there, they have X's and S's, whereas PlayStation, this is the first time in a month and a half that they've had digital editions of the PS5. Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I mean, it is also becoming an issue of, like, if I'm someone who wants to buy a game console for whatever reason that may be, and I go to the store, and I mean, there's an Xbox there. What else do I choose? I can't get a PlayStation, and Switch is something else. If you're interested in a Switch, that's different. I think it's sort of a different market. So, like, you're gonna grab that, right? You want to play Elden Ring? Like, hey, there's a Series S right there.
Yeah.
$300 gets you in.
Just one thing about the Switch, because the Nintendo Switch Sports, so of course we were talking about on last week's episode, it came out on the 29th, just the other day, and boy oh boy, it's being pushed really heavily at Yodobashi right now. I mean, it's there's posters and like cardboard displays everywhere for that.
Is it working? Are there crowds, or are there like people like nah?
Well, Golden Week just started, so today when I walked over there were a lot of people in there, and they were buying them. So, I mean, yeah, I don't know if that'll continue, but
those reviews, man, they do not make me feel good about that game. It's like, I don't know.
Anyway, Burley, your thoughts on this and the Xbox selling very well?
Well, Microsoft has done, like as Carl said, they've done some smart things here, and they positioned themselves well for this. The S was such a smart idea. I am an S owner. I did not want to buy, because here in Canada, the X is a $600 something. Probably about $700 box. I already have the PlayStation that I've spent a good amount of money on. I do not want to spend that amount to get the S. And for me, all the big Microsoft games I want to play are on Game Pass. So it was like a brilliant thing. And the S is so tiny. It's just like, it was perfect. I've known a lot of people, because they couldn't get either, but they were able to get an S. They're like, you know what? I'll just buy an S. I'll buy Game Pass. And they're loving it, because they can just go, try games, stop, and just play what they want.
Yeah.
And it was a great marketing thing. I think at some point we may see, even if it's only in one or two markets, that the S overtakes the X for a bit.
Well, in Japan, the S is definitely outselling the X.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. The S is the Trojan horse for the Xbox brand right now.
Yeah.
People get that thing in their house. They're like, oh, damn, look at all this stuff inside. This is fantastic.
Just think, Carl, mid-generation, an Xbox Series S Slim. Could you just imagine that?
God, I don't know.
I don't think
that would
they'll
sell like
Series
hotcakes
X.
here in Japan. I mean, because the S's, they're selling.
I mean, maybe later in the generation, it's plausible, because they always shrink the system, so you could see it happening. Yeah. I wonder if they'll do I think they will do a 1 terabyte S at some point, and a diskless Series X, just because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Popular, markets to sell to.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. So next up, we got our Call of Duty for this year, guys. So, of course, for you video viewers, of course, I put the link to the article below here. So, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is this year's Call of Duty. New game will be a sequel to 2019's Modern Warfare. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if there was any surprise here. I mean, but
this is kind of leaked, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like it's what is it? The 20-something iteration of Call of Duty now, and I think there's been like 7 or maybe 9 different titles of Modern Warfare. So,
there's already been a Modern Warfare 2, so like
yeah. So,
it's funny.
But anyway, Call of Duty returns to Modern Warfare in 2022. Developer Infinity Ward and Activision confirmed Thursday this past week. On Twitter, the game's official account teased, quote, "The new era of Call of Duty is coming," end quote. Yeah, so a new era. I wonder what that means. Yeah, for Activision, being a member of Microsoft, maybe. And they posted a brief teaser video, which we're not showing here. But so your guys' thoughts. I mean, maybe I'll play the campaign, because the Modern Warfare campaigns were pretty good. The last Modern Warfare 2, I think I played it in like crushing mode or whatever it's called.
Veteran.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Veteran. Thanks, Burley. Yeah, and it's just I streamed it once playing on Veteran, and I was killed maybe like 270 times before finishing one mission. So I mean,
it's tough. Yeah,
it's tough. But I think, me personally, I wouldn't mind playing the campaigns, but I mean, when it comes to the multiplayer and all, it's just I'm kind of beyond that. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you even interested in this? Or Burley, I'll start with you on this. What do you think of this one?
It does have me interested a little. I do like the Modern Warfare games, like Modern Warfare 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad picked that up for PS4,
Mm-hmm.
and I got to steal his copy and play it. And the campaign was fun,
Uh-huh.
and Infinity Ward, if you're going Call of Duties, usually is better, in my opinion. So to see if they take some of the stuff they've learned from 2019's Modern Warfare and put it into this, great. And then hopefully for the DualSense, you use the freaking things, you use the controller, the haptic feedback, and all that stuff.
Nobody cares, Burley. Nobody cares.
I care.
Just turn it off. Just turn those features off. I turn vibrate off on like almost every game on my Xbox controller. That's the first time it vibrates. I'm like, it's usually an annoying moment. I'm like, no, stop it, turn it off, go in the menus right away. I know it's not the same thing. Haptics are a little better, and your triggers are something else. Just saying.
But Expat knows what I mean because he has PS5. When you get those, when it really uses it, it's a lot of fun. So I'm hoping that, I know they're gonna bring back Captain Price because they always have to have him for Modern Warfare games. It's like,
he's part of the cell. I mean,
he's the poster boy for it all. And it's like, as great as it is to see him again, I'm kind of like, okay, do we need to have him? Make some new original characters that are good, but no, why would we do that? It takes too much effort.
I just don't understand, if there's already been a Modern Warfare 2, which there has, why are they calling it Modern Warfare 2 again? I mean, is it just because
they
of a
called
different location?
They called the 2019 one, they called that Modern Warfare.
Okay. And it's going to be in a different location. Of course, I would expect. So, yeah, Carl, your thoughts?
Yeah, I had it muted there because the baby's crying. But no, it's Modern Warfare. I mean, it's Call of Duty. I mean, the games are good. They're just not for me. I played a couple of them a long time ago, so I don't really play them anymore. But the thing is, I mean, that changes everything. Is, do they end up on Game Pass at some point? It's really the big thing, because I might actually play one of these then. I just
like I'm not going to spend money on this. I'm not, especially with the PS5, because they'll do the next gen tax. So I'm not going to spend $100 on Modern Warfare 2 just to play it on the PS5. I will wait for Game Pass eventually.
Do you think we get one on Game Pass this year, or we might get some of the previous versions this year?
I mean, I could see that they talked out about getting other games, older games, on Game Pass.
Yeah, because the news also dropped this week that the board of directors have approved the of course the sale, but of course the Federal Trade Commission is probably gonna there's going to be more hurdles to that, but obviously it's probably ultimately going to go through. But at least the first step has been done. So
90% voted to let the deal go through, and I mean, I think there's potential it could happen this year. It all really depends on the FTC and how much that's going to hold up the process. As far
there will be scrutiny, but I mean, I don't see how it wouldn't go through.
Because I don't see any strong argument for the FTC to actually shut this down. And the thing everyone has to remember is that they can't just throw out any reason to shut it down, because then they have to defend that in court, and they're not going to want to lose in court, which they will if they don't have a strong argument.
Right.
So they may just look at everything. It could very much be like, hey, we looked at everything. We fine-tooth comb, and like, sorry, that's it. We can't do anything. There you go. The deals goes through. I mean, so to me, the most interesting thing about this Call of Duty is like, could it end up launching on Game Pass? That would be an interesting turn of events and story if they could somehow make that happen by the end of this year.
Yeah. Where it would still be multi-platform, but then on Xbox it would go day one Game Pass, maybe. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would be huge for
Yes.
for
Yes.
this year's sales.
Yes. Who knows? Maybe we might hear something at a particular showcase that's coming up. And we're going to
I
talk
think
about.
if you're going to get any Call of Duty this year on Game Pass, you're not going to get Vanguard because Vanguard's still selling, even though people hate it, are not as happy with it. You're going to get the last one before it, Black Ops Cold War,
Okay.
or either that or Modern Warfare 2019. Is what I would predict.
Yeah. Would be a smart one to give out because the new one's coming. So
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's segue into what we're going to talk about next, of course, and the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase coming June 12th. Obviously, it's we're going to be covering that. I'll probably be getting up at like 2 a.m. to do a live stream of this, maybe with Burley and Carl. We shall see.
Well,
Carl's got his phone there, yeah, prepped up for it and all. Yeah,
I put that on my phone's wallpaper. It's
awesome.
just because they actually went out and made wallpapers for the different size screens.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? It's nice. I like a nice like little space background thing because that's what I had something like that before.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's gonna be on June 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's gonna be 2 a.m. on Monday, my time here in Japan. But I don't care. I will live stream it hopefully, and hopefully Burley will be able to do it with me as well. So
yeah, if you're gonna live stream it, I'll do it with you because that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like last year, you and I did it, and I think it was just you and I for the Microsoft one, and you and I just sat and had a freaking blast.
Yeah, and hopefully Carl can join us too. We'll see. Yeah,
this time we'll make a drinking game. Every time they say the word Game Pass, we got to take a sip.
No, I'll pass because I have to get up about 4 or 5 hours later and actually go to work. So.
I would love to actually be able to do that. That would be really cool if somehow, but I don't think I can make that work.
I don't know. We'll see.
The drinking game part, or just be with us.
The drinking game part. It would just be fun, man. It would be good, but I don't think
it'd be fun, but
it's plausible.
You'd be fucking hammered. That's the thing.
If I take a day off, I'll do it. I'll do it with you, Burley. I mean, anytime Game Pass comes up, have to take a shot or something. Yeah.
Well, not shot. You got to make it like beer. Like you take a sip of your beer. You can't make it shots. That's too much.
Well, why not? You don't want to see us too drunk on
I don't want to see you dead.
Yeah, we'll be passed out. Yeah, we'll be on the floor like after an hour and a half.
I'm Jim Morris.
But anyway, so the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase will include everything you need to know about the diverse lineup of games coming soon to the Xbox ecosystem, including upcoming releases to Game Pass on Xbox and PC. So the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase will be streamed on a variety of outlets in over 30 languages. So, Burley, that means you are required to watch it with me in Japanese. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
I
watch it in French.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So it's going to be on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok. It's going to be all over the place. So anyway, let's talk about this showcase, guys. What do you think is going to let's speculate a little bit about what you would like to see, what we're most likely going to see. I'll start. I think, obviously, they're going to show gameplay of Starfield. I think they're going to have to show some gameplay of Starfield at this point. My second most anticipated game from there, Hellblade 2. Maybe we'll get a release date for Hellblade 2. That's maybe kind of a shot in the dark, but I would love to see that. And then, of course, A Plague's Tale Requiem. I think we'll also get some more gameplay of that too. I think those are givens. I think we're going to see at least gameplay of all three of those. But anyway, Carl, I'll start with you. What are you looking forward to, and what do you think we're most definitely going to see at this showcase?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously, Redfall and Starfield have to be there.
Yeah,
those are requirements.
Yeah.
I do want to see. Personally, something I think needs to be done is I want to see games with 2023 year on them.
Okay.
At the end of the trailer, I want to see. I don't care. I don't need a season. I don't need a month. I just want to see what I want you to tell me what you think is coming out next year. So like I expect, Hellblade, right?
Yeah.
That should be next year for sure.
Okay.
I can't imagine. Like I don't know why it would be later. I want to see like the new Forza Motorsport, right? That should be next year, I'm assuming.
Gear 6?
I think they're doing more on something like that. I don't think that's next year. It's possible, but I don't really think that's where they're going with that. Coalition's working on a couple things.
Yeah.
Gears Tactics 2.
That was made by, I forgot, a studio that was bought by someone else. So like it's unlikely.
Who's doing Callisto Protocol?
I think it's a new studio.
That's a new studio, right? Yeah.
With someone who worked on Dead Space as like the lead.
Yeah.
So the other games, like I think Avowed should be there as well.
Yeah.
And I think that should be 2023 possibly.
Fable.
I would love to see Fable. I personally think Fable should be there and might be there. I don't know. It's been in development for a long time, and I want to see something. I want to see what it looks like. I don't care. I don't need like someone like playing gameplay, right? I just want to see like show me what the gameplay looks like, right? Show me what the actual game looks like. I'd be happy with that. Okay. Contraband, I think that's potentially next year as well. So we'll actually see gameplay of that. So yeah, those are 4 games that I think we should hopefully get 2023 dates on. And then you got other things that could pop up, like Indiana Jones is a good possibility. We could see something for that. I don't think Compulsion's game. The Compulsion's working on hasn't had anything for a while from We Happy Few since Xbox bought them, and I'd like to see what they're working on.
Right.
And there's so many other projects. I mean, like the partnership ones, like the IO Interactive, like Project Dragon thing, and certain Affinity is working on something, and
do you think
In Exile, of course, has something, but I don't know if we'll see all of these. But we got to see some of these like project, leak names that have been out there. Got to see a few of those.
Do you think they will hold back from showing anything on Perfect Dark?
I don't expect to see Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too early. Yeah, I think. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I just don't expect that game because of all what we've heard from Crystal Dynamics, basically taking over as the major production behind it, or them being the support studio, being such a big studio, obviously. But that's a weird story, and I think I think it's far enough out that we don't even need to worry about it. It's not coming out next year. That would be. I don't think that's possible. So
could we get a surprise and see a new Banjo?
I want surprises for sure. Like something like like to me, something like Banjo would be a great surprise. It's not a game that I would be super excited about, but I know like that's a fan favorite.
Oh yeah, and for the next generation of the kids out there, I think they'd love it. Yeah. So
yeah, I would love if they did like a JRPG section. If they could, because there's a bunch of things that would make sense to put in there, right? Like
resurrect Scalebound.
Well, no.
Oh yes.
I mean, they've talked about it.
Yes.
But I'm not gonna say it's not possible.
It's not possible.
Unlikely.
It's probably it's unlikely. But I mean, if you want to go,
anything is possible.
The Japanese route there,
yeah. No, but like you could, if you're getting Final Fantasy VII Remake, like. You would want to show it here. It'd be a good spot to show it.
Yeah.
You got Soul Hackers 2 from Atlas, right? Launching on Xbox. Maybe you want to give them some highlight on the showcase. Can you get Persona, right? Persona 5 on there? Like that would be great. Tease me Lost Odyssey coming back. I mean, there was a story about Sakaguchi, saying that he's, he has had some offers that he's talked about and that he's going to be working on something.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, one of those better have been Microsoft asking for Lost Odyssey 2, you know? And I don't need to see anything other than like, just put a logo up. I'll be like, all right, that's it. That's all I need. Just let me know that it's a possibility. That's coming. That's all I need to know. You know, give me a little segment. You got Ayuden Chronicles, like the not the stupid Rising one, the action like side scrolly one, the actual like Suikoden, you know, spiritual successor one. They showed that before. I could, you know, maybe show it again, but that's maybe next year, so maybe they won't. But
yeah,
there's a lot of options. And then like Yakuza 8, you know, are they ready to show that? They've aligned with Microsoft
they
in
had
a lot of ways. So
out here in Japan last Friday, they had a live stream, and they did talk a little bit about Yakuza 8, but not much.
okay.
So
yeah.
it's I mean, it's probably still a little ways off, but yeah, who knows? Burley, let's get some of your thoughts. What do you think, man?
Some of the stuff I think we'll see. You guys have covered pretty much a lot of the stuff, so I don't want to go.
Sorry, Burley.
So it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But one I think we will see, just a small tease, because we got the tease at the end of it of their last one, was the Outer Worlds 2.
Okay.
We did get a small tease. I think they ended on that, if I remember correctly. So wouldn't be surprised we get a little bit, not much, but just to remind people, hey, that game is still in development.
Maybe some gameplay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then just maybe that could be a 2023 release, maybe 2024. So that's something we'll see. The Persona 5, that is an interesting one to bring up, because there's the whole thing with Sony delisting it soon, taking off the PS Plus collection. So many people are thinking Persona 5, if they do get it, I agree, this is the time to show it, that you are getting Persona 5 on Xbox. But I'd be interesting to see that they're doing that you said the whole Yakuza thing. A couple of Yakuza games have left some of the Game Pass. So are we going to get those renewed back on? Because I think like Yakuza 0 and a couple of the Kiwami games have left.
Yeah, well, that was the first drop, right? It's been over a year, so I don't know if they're going to bring them back, but
let's at least get Judgment on there.
I don't know what the deal with that is either.
Yeah.
That could also be tied up with your boy there, the actor, you know, his agency.
Yeah.
Like no services, no streaming services. I don't do that.
Yeah, Johnny,
we don't do that.
Yeah, Johnny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh, there's could we see the Halo Infinite Battle Royale thing that they're working on?
Oh, they'll show Halo Infinite. They have to show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe the story, DLC or however that's going to play out, because that was teased with some stuff. Like there's a name out there of what that might be called already. So,
Carl, I'll ask you this. I asked, I talked to Burley about this a while back too. But when do you think, if at any time, will we get Halo Infinite added to the Master Chief Collection?
Oh, I don't think they're going to do that at all, because I mean, it's a completely different engine, right? Like the other games, I think they shared a base core engine. Like I don't, and this is Infinite's its own platform. I don't see why that would make sense.
Okay.
I think they'll put it a part of it eventually, because Master Chief Collection still has a lot of people playing. And I think it's got more player numbers than Infinite. So you try and put it in there to get more people to go on to Infinite. Whether or not that's a year or two out, I think they're just going to do it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see how that works for them, because it's not a platform.
I don't know, but they're still putting they just put content into Master Chief Collection.
They did, and that's why the numbers were up, because they had this interesting new thing, which I don't know. I mean, it's still popular. That's the thing, because those games are good. Obviously, like all the old Halo games are good, but like it's weird to think that maybe one day, like far down the line, when Halo Infinite's not the new Halo, right? And it's no longer an active platform, but I don't know.
Okay, well, yeah, coming June 12th, so we're looking forward to that, and yeah, we'll most likely be live streaming it, so hope you can join us for that when it comes. We're
Well,
really excited for it, yeah. So.
Sorry, I just got one thing to bring up. Now that we got Microsoft announcing this, that they're doing their thing, because this is around E3 anyways, when E3 normally would be, how much sooner do you think we get the Nintendo date and the Sony date on all the other publishers?
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo, they usually announce at this point, like what, the week before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
or 2 days before.
Yeah, it
Something
just
crazy.
It pops up out of
the
nowhere.
day of.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, and Sony, I mean, they've done that with the State of Plays, but there's
And
they have a showcase, right?
When is opening night live with Jeff Keighley again?
I think it's the Summer Game Fest thing.
Yeah, the Summer Game Fest. Yeah,
I think it's in June.
So it's probably
I'll look it up.
It's probably coinciding, or it's very close to that showcase that Xbox is going to be doing.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
Or maybe even like a day before or something. Who knows? But
yeah, like Sony has, it's like usually their big thing is actually a PlayStation showcase and not a State of Play.
Right.
And that, I think that gets announced a bit earlier, but not this far out.
No,
I could see them waiting till even later, like July or even. I don't know, because like Ragnarok, right? I think that's the thing. Like, is Ragnarok going to hit this year? They going to want to have.
Well, if it's July, why not wait until Gamescom in August? I mean, we don't even know if PlayStation's going to be at Gamescom yet or not. But
yeah, but PlayStation, we already know they are not aligning themselves with anything. They're doing completely their own thing at this point.
Yeah. Burley, did you find anything there?
No, I couldn't find anything. But
okay.
Yeah, so Sony, I could see them going a little later because Sony, with their State of Plays and everything, they have, I think we can easily say they're missing the mark. They're just doing whatever they think. Yeah. Not necessarily the best. Like God of War, that is their big title they're saying this year. Whether or not it'll come this year, we will wait to see as the year goes on.
Well, it'll be
Hopefully
interesting
it comes this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's an early 2020 game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see as May, goes along here, whether or not PlayStation comes out and actually announces anything for June, at least. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so we've got Summer Game Fest with Keighley, and then of course, now we have the Xbox showcase now. So yeah, things are starting to align for June.
The Kojima game. It'll be at Keighley's show, the Xbox.
You know it, man.
Whatever that game is.
Microsoft will get Death Stranding directors. No, Kojima cut edition.
Yeah. I think it's actually out there now that PlayStation owns that IP.
Yeah. But, speaking of PlayStation, let's go ahead and move on to our topic of the show. So, of course, in June. This new, of course, these new tiers for PlayStation Plus are coming out. We talked about that previously, but there was news this week, obviously, about demos that are going to be a part now of the premium tier. So basically, and I'll go ahead and I'm going to read some of this for you, some of the information here. So basically, it looks like, what is it, $34, I think, or more when it comes to like a game. They're going to have to provide demos, the developers, for particular games that are $34 or more. So yeah, I mean, the question is, and a lot of people have been talking about this, whether or not developers are actually going to be compensated for this. And actually, Carl, you brought up an interesting tweet from Ethan Gotch, who's, of course, over at Kotaku. And he says in his tweet that the PlayStation Store team, from what his sources say, will create the 2-hour time trials for developers. So it shouldn't be extra work, though. He's heard concerns from others about Sony monetizing a perk and not sharing that revenue with studios. So I don't know. You got developers that are working on these big titles. just my personal opinion, I think they should be compensated more for having to churn out demos for particular games as well. I don't know. Burley, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think? And what do you think of the compensation part of all of this? I mean, do you think Sony is actually going to compensate developers for, going out of their way and having to make these demos for games that are like $34 and up?
I don't think they will. They should be compensated, but at the same time, like demos are a great way to sell your game and get copies sold. So it's not like just an easy answer for me to want to just say and yes, but I have my butt there. I don't like that Sony is putting this to a paywall. Let's be clear. I like all games to have demos, but Microsoft has done it too. They did it with Tony Hawk, the last Tony Hawk. You had to either be a Game Pass subscriber or have the game pre-ordered, because this has been a thing in the last couple of years that they're like, oh, you have to have the game paid for and then we'll give you the demo. It's like, what? No, I shouldn't have to pre-order the game to paid for the game to get a demo. You should give me the demo and then be like, holy shit, after playing this demo, I want to buy this.
Carl, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing is that I never once thought that this was going to be like all games or even third-party games. Honestly, when they talked about the trials, I kind of thought it was going to be just first-party games. So this to me, I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute, this kind of changes things a bit. It's neat. It seems like a good perk, but then, I mean, you're gonna say every game that's over $34, which is all AAA games, right? Because they're all gonna be 40 to 70, right?
Yeah, and they have to be 2 hours long and released within the first 3 months of the game coming out. So.
Yeah, so you're gonna put that behind this paywall and give them nothing for it, and other than the hope that will somehow equate to more sales for your product. And I don't like it. This seems like a weird guarantee, a promise to offer, to these devs who, we don't know how much work they're going to actually have to do. Like that tweet says, like maybe it's being handled and it's just going to be like, you can play the game on a timer, but you got to think about it in the way that, like, does the developer want you to play the game that way?
Yeah.
Right. And the publisher, do they want you to play the first 2 hours of the game? Is there reasons that they wouldn't want you to do that? Because maybe that's not the part of the game they want to represent everything that the game is, because you're stuck in tutorial areas that might not be as fun or interesting.
Yeah.
You're also giving away early parts of the story in some games.
Right.
And then you got your short games where you might be playing like a fourth of the game, and like maybe someone's like, that's enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, go ahead.
I'll let you.
You go ahead.
Go ahead, Burley.
I was going to say, like, without the developers making this, like, imagine God of War Ragnarok, and they just put you into a story section that reveals something that you're supposed to be 15 hours in, and it's like, now know, this is going to happen, so that way when I go buy God of War Ragnarok, I pop in the disc, pop it open, and I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, I already know. They're at the beginning. They're like, I wonder, what is this? And it's like, oh, I've already played the demo, so I know this. So now this story segment is spoiled for me, so I don't kind of care. Yeah. That's why I don't like Sony's team working on it is like, I'd rather have the developer, because then they can shield you from stuff they know you're not going to get spoiled.
Yeah, from the initial report, it sounds like it seems kind of at odds with Sony doing it, but I guess maybe that's like the option. Like, Do you want a basic 2-hour trial timer of like, title screen start 2 hours, or you have the option of making your own thing, and we have to get that within a certain amount of time. What was it, like 3 months or something?
Yeah, 3 months.
Yeah.
Which would you prefer? I would prefer the start of the game to the 2 hours.
I mean, I would prefer the developer give me what they want.
Okay.
If that's the first 2 hours, that's fine. If it's a section that they've chosen because that's the best,
with the least amount of spoilers or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
then that's
Okay.
what I would take.
Fair enough. Yeah. Burley, how about you?
I'm okay if they give me the first 2 hours, but if they're giving me that, if I like the demo, I want to take those first 2 hours, the progress I've made, and transfer it in.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of games, like Square this is something Square has done so well. They did it with Octopath, Dragon Quest. They did it with Triangle Strategy. They give you a demo with the first couple hours, and when the game comes out like a month or two later, transfer all that in, and then so I don't feel like I have to play it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's very unclear as to if this is helpful or not, because for every person who might play your demo and say, that's good, I want to buy it now, there's possibly a person who's going to say, no, I think I'm good, I don't want to buy this now. So
yeah,
it's always a risk, with these type of situations. I don't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't pay to have this, like, especially putting it behind the highest tier.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those people are generally people who know what they want to play, right? Those like the hardest core of gamers, probably, or generally speaking, they're not. I don't know that they need to have these. It's not going to be a bad thing to have, of course, but you would think you'd want to get this on a lower tier. I don't know.
Yeah. Get this at the mid tier. I would think this would be a mid tier. This shouldn't be a high tier. Like I would love to see it at the basic, or just give it and get the given out for like more companies should just do demos. Period. For free, but.
Well, you think that the base tier, there's going to be the majority of subscribers at the moment. So, I mean, they would want to take advantage of that and put it on the base tier. But
well, they know if they put it at the base tier, very few are going to jump to the mid to high tier. So I think they would want to more put it to the mid tier. Putting it at the highest just seems like, fuck you, give us full price.
Well, the one other thing that I thought about also was they say it's a requirement for all games over a certain price, but like, what if, I don't know, Activision, for example, says like, no, I'm not doing that. Call of Duty is we're too big. You can't tell us, we can just say no. Oh, you don't want Call of Duty on your platform? What are you going to do? You're not going to take the game?
Or for like on the PlayStation side of things, say Final Fantasy. Yeah, they say no.
Sure, right.
We're not going to do that. Yeah. So.
But there's other types of games that you can't just do demos, like these big multiplayers games. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to give me like the
2 hours.
Give me a 2 hour thing of a multiplayer. So like, I'm just using Splatoon for example here.
Yeah.
You're gonna give me the Splatoon multiplayer for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I get into that, whereas expat here just bought the game full price. And it's like, I got to play it because I paid the full high tier. I get to play the game for 2 hours. Well, you just paid full price, so I can get my enjoyment out and just say, I got my 2 hours. See ya.
Yeah.
Because that's all you'll need for Splatoon.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know if people in Japan would agree with that.
Oh, I know we're gonna get some comments on the YouTube here about my comment.
I know, man. I know a lot of the kids here. Yeah, the 2 hours is just like the very brunt beginning of it. So. All right. Well, anyway, there was one other little bit of story, kind of a story, but it was a leak of some video of a game that's been delayed. Like it was announced like what 8 or 9 years ago. Skull and Bones, and
Can't
we
be
got
that
some.
long ago. My God, how old are we?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, yeah. So this game is supposed to have come out for years, but it hasn't. It's been delayed and delayed and delayed so many different
It was
times.
first announced E3 2017.
Okay, well, yeah, it feels like 10 years
a long time ago.
Originally, it was supposed to come out 2019.
But anyway, there was some leaked footage from a user on Reddit, but of course he took it down. Yeah, I wonder why. But Kotaku on their site, and I'm going to show that to you now. Kotaku actually showed some snippets of this, and let's talk about it a little bit. So let me go ahead and scroll down here. Let me get to it. So here we go. So these are some of the actual bits and pieces of that footage that we saw of it. So what do you think? Does this signal some kind of announcement coming soon? What do you guys think of this? And what do you think of these little snippets of, gameplay footage that we're seeing here? Burley, I'll start with you. Yeah.
It just reminds me of Assassin's Creed 3 and 4.
Yeah, like a Black Flag.
Well,
Yeah. Black Flag. Like just the ship comment, the quick bit. Yeah, this looks okay. Like this just nothing that I want to. From what I see in this little footage, that ever would make me want to be like, yeah, I want to drop $90 on this.
Yeah, that cannon fire scene right there. I mean, that's definitely Black Flag, man. That's definitely It's just
Yeah, that is Black Flag. But it is just like. We may actually get an announcement on this game, which kind of is surprising to me because for the longest thing we've said it, this game is dead because they haven't shown anything in years. I think 2019 was the last time we ever saw anything.
Yeah.
So if Ubisoft actually has something and they're actually going to show maybe around E3, who knows? But I kind of think the game is kind of come and went because for most people you talk to and they're like that I've talked to and they're like, oh yeah, Skull Bones was a thing. It's dead and gone. Yeah. Ubisoft has not done a good job of keeping this game in your mind. Yeah. It's just like when someone mentions Beyond Good and Evil 2.
That game that was never even a game.
Yeah, they just put together like a 2-3 minute clip just to get a bunch of people excited.
No, there was a weird playable like demo-ish thing of like it was a concept thing. It wasn't even like a game. It was so weird.
Yeah. So anyway, Carl, what are your thoughts on these little?
Yeah, so I watched the entire like 6 minute or so.
So you got to see it before it was taken down. Okay, awesome.
I saw the whole thing. I mean, it's a full on like deep dive presentation on this game. Like this would have been at a Ubisoft showcase for sure. It's interesting how this just leaks and we don't know where this might show up because there's no announcement for any showcase. And it's now that it's out there, you got to think that they're gonna have to talk about it now, right?
Yeah, because Ubisoft is just like Bethesda, but Bethesda is now a part of Microsoft and Xbox. But I mean, Ubisoft usually does an E3 type of presentation. Like last year, Burley, when they announced Avatar.
Broke Carl's heart.
That's right. It did.
But yeah, I mean, so maybe this is a part of that presentation that leaked out.
But from what I saw, I mean, visually speaking, it looks really nice. So I'm almost thinking they may have jumped this to next gen or current gen only, possibly. And it looks like it still looks like it's pretty much all ship combat, right? There's a camp base that you have that you can walk around, and there's things there to do, but they never once showed any like running around climbing stuff like Assassin's Creed. They didn't show any like sword fighting at all. So I'm not sure there's any of that in the game. They did talk about how like if you sink a ship, you'll get less like rewards and loot. But if you like board the ship and take it over, you'll get more. So I wonder if there'll be any sort of actual melee combat when you're boarding, or if it's just going to be one of those type of games where it's an animation, maybe a mini game, and you take it over.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be like, this has got to be like a Sid Meier's Pirates type of situation game here at this point. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I think it looks interesting. It's different. I think maybe people should be happy that it's not just Assassin's Creed, that it's trying to be something else. They also said that you can play the entire thing solo. Don't have to play multiplayer, although of course you can play multiplayer. And it seems like there's interesting aspects to it. Like they said that if your ship gets destroyed, you can return to the wreckage, right, and get some stuff. You won't lose everything, right? But there'll be a certain amount you'll lose. And they said, but the other players could possibly like loot your destroyed ship. So it does seem like there's this interesting sort of shared world online aspect to it.
A little bit like Sea of Thieves in a sense.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of that, but none. Hopefully not like your awful. Like everybody is just ganking you left and right, coming out of the shadows, stealing your crap and killing you. But it sounds like you can fight other players in this, and you can team up with other players, and they said there's like this privateer group of sort of like pirate hunters out there who are trying to stop you, and I think it sounds like an interesting game.
Cool. Right. Well, we shall see. I mean, maybe Ubisoft is going to announce something soon. I don't know. We'll see.
It's going to be at the Xbox showcase.
Yeah. Could you just imagine that? Oh,
hey.
Yeah. And by the way, we're buying Ubisoft. Yeah.
Or Keeley's show. Maybe because Ubisoft, maybe they won't do a show because who else did EA back out of one? I think was it them?
Yeah, EA backed out of one because they didn't have anything to show.
Yeah. But I imagine Ubisoft is probably gonna have something because I'm expecting that they're gonna probably be showing the next Assassin's Creed as well as some other things too. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, wasn't there a story saying that game is like kind of farther off?
What game are you referring to?
The next Assassin's Creed thing.
Maybe, but I mean,
they said it's they. If I remember correctly, they were saying they wish they were farther.
Because they're still
farther.
They're still, with Valhalla, they're still having content come out for that as well. So.
And that game's still selling a lot.
And it's almost 2 years that's been out now. So, I don't know. We'll see. But anyway. All right. So it's time to move on. So it's time to move to our new game releases. So for this coming week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Burley, I'll let you start. What do you got for us?
I got Evasion from Hell. Welcome to Hell. In this game, you start the journey with the lowest circle of Hell, slowly work your way up to the gates of Hell in order to escape and return to the world of the living. Therefore, the game consists of 9 huge areas, each representing one circle of Hell. In each area, the player has to find a certain number of soul crystals in order to open the portal to the next level and advance one circle. This game uniquely stylized 3D first-person platform. Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
My eyes deceive me.
Yeah.
Plays around with the concept of life and death. Each circle consists of 5 different platforming challenges, surprising with breathtaking environments, surreal world of beauty, grace, and despair. And small environmental puzzles that blend perfectly into peaceful and yet stunning environments. Will you be able to escape Hell? Find out. Coming out to Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Coming out Wednesday, May 4th.
Interesting. Yeah, like all these different environments. It looks like you're jumping on vines and jumping on like wooden bridges, and now a bunch of, as you can see here, like a bunch of like.
Are you seeing the shadow?
The shadow of the.
It's like a stick model character.
Yeah, like a stick figure. Yeah.
Which is what you expect to be doing in Hell.
Yeah. It was okay. So like this, So for all of you video viewers, we're going through this, and Just looks like a running sim almost. Yeah. I wonder if there's like any speed trials or anything in this.
Time trials.
Yeah, like
There
time
you go. You got
trials and stuff. Yeah, and like a blood lake here. It looks like. Yeah. So.
Brother, you're gonna speed run this game, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's like Crash Bandicoot where I got crates to stop my time.
Carl, he's going to be speed running this, and then on his stream, somebody in Streamloots are going to make him lift his arms up for like 10 seconds, and then he's going to die.
Yeah,
well, if I'm speed running games and stuff like that, I turn loots off.
Yeah. Obviously.
Pretty smart.
Okay, so let's get to my game next. Okay, so Trek to Yomi is my game. So as a vow to his dying master, the young swordsman Hiroki is sworn to protect his town and the people he loves against all threats. Faced with tragedy and bound to duty, the lone samurai must voyage beyond life and death to confront himself and decide his path forward. So it's coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, Series S on Thursday, May 5th. So, yeah, I mean, as you can see here, it's kind of like a little 2D side scroller that has a lot of influence from I would say Ghost of Tsushima and the Kurosawa mode with all the black and white, and of course this is probably, when it comes to the time period, probably of the Edo Jidai, in the Edo period, probably I would say early 17th or I would say 1800s, like 1700s, so 18th century. But anyway, Trek to Yomi. So so the cinematics look cool and all, and yeah, he's in front of a torii there, big gate. So Trek to Yomi. So yeah, I'm excited for this. I'm looking forward to it, and it's obviously going to be on Game Pass day one. So
I can't wait for that game.
And you can already pre-install. So yeah, looking forward to playing this. So from Devolver Digital. So cool stuff. Okay, Carl, you're up next. What have you got for us?
Oh, I'm very happy to talk about this one. It is Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. Quite a lengthy title there, coming to PC on May 5th. Lead humanity's greatest weapon, the Grey Knights, in this fast-paced, turn-based tactical RPG. Root out and purge a galaxy-spanning plague in a cinematic, story-driven campaign using the tactics and talents of your own personalized squad of demon hunters. This is a game that I've just been following for quite a while because this is technically a sequel or in the same franchise as Warhammer Chaos Gate from 1998 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only ever made that one. And it was a game that I played as a kid, and I was like, I love this. This is so cool because I liked Warhammer 40K. I had played that before a bit, like the actual tabletop game, and this was a really cool representation of that with the turn-based, tactics style of combat and the gameplay. And this one is doing a lot more than that one was, obviously, because it's a modern game, and with the fact that you have all the different like class sort of trees, leveling trees and skill trees in this game, and you have your ship that your characters are in, and you have all these upgrades that you can do that can give you different bonuses and benefits. Mm-hmm. And it looks like you can take on like sort of side quest missions and things to do. It's looking really good. I'm very excited for it.
Cool. All right, those were our new game releases for the week of May 2nd through the 8th. So yeah, so please check those out. And you can, for all of you video viewers, you can check out the link below. So to releases.com, where every week, of course, we come up with our picks of the week and show them to you. So, all right. So next up, obviously, we've got, since it's the beginning of the month, of course, our PlayStation Plus and Xbox games with gold have dropped. So we'll start with Burley with you. What are the PlayStation Plus games for May?
So on Tuesday, May 3rd, why they couldn't just go with Wednesday, May 4th, who knows? We got, for you PS5 and PS4 owners, you get FIFA 2022 just in time for FIFA 2023 to be released, I'm sure,
Obviously.
in a few weeks.
Yeah.
We also get Tribes of Midgar, which is a game I've wanted to try, and I'm glad I waited and did not spend the money. That coming out for PS5, PS4, and as well as Curse of the Dead Gods, your roguelike game.
Which is, I just want to point out, is also on Game Pass.
Okay, that one is on Game Pass.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Yeah. And only for PS4, right? Yeah. So.
Well, it's PS4.
It's
it just means PS4 all can use it. There's just no PS5 version.
Right.
The other two have your cross gens that have PS5 and a PS4 version.
Right. So yeah, I mean, kind of a meh type of month again, but of course, obviously they're getting the new tiered PlayStation Plus structure ready for the next month in June. So we shall see. But anyway, all right.
Very, very interested in seeing how this changes once the new tiers are out. Like, will the PlayStation Plus games currently, the Essential tier, continue to be this level? Because they're going to put better stuff in the extra premium, right?
Yeah. We shall see.
It's going to turn into what we get for Games with Gold.
Games with Gold. Yeah, take it away, Carl. What do we got for May?
We have Yoku's Island Express. We have The Inner World, The Last Monk. Yep, those are the Xbox One titles, and then your Xbox 360 titles are Hydro Thunder Hurricane and Viva Pinata Party Animals.
Okay. Interesting, because for those of you who are watching on video, it says Arkham Knight is coming. Yeah, so it's kind of weird.
This is none of
Arkham Knight, SpongeBob.
Yeah, is this the wrong year?
No, it said May 2022. Maybe they changed these. Okay, so
this is not. That's not what's coming.
All right, so all of you video viewers, disregard the image that I showed there. I guess that was an earlier image, so maybe those were just projected. It said May 2022, so releases for Game Pass. So I guess all right. And what's coming to Game Pass, Carl, in early May?
The only thing I don't see anything. I'm not sure for May, other than I guess. Well, actually, wait. Trek to Yomi.
Trek to Yomi's coming,
right?
Soon. Yeah, like
that's
you just
Game
mentioned.
Pass, right? Yeah. And then they just had announced the NBA 2K22, which I think is already on Game Pass at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's now. Yeah. So that was kind of just shadow dropped on there. And they haven't done the May drop, so we don't have other than stuff that's been talked about that we know is coming on release date. But
okay, all right. Thanks for that, guys. And of course, some little bits of information for you. Of course, we have our Patreon. Of course, after we record these episodes, it goes up to our Patreon at the Arena Productions. So at the Arena_podcast, the link is below there. So you can check out all of our content, the podcast as well in audio and video format. It goes up in early access for a day, and then it goes up to free podcast services in audio format. And the video format goes up to our YouTube channel at the Arena Productions. So please come, and if you like all of our content there, please hit those like and subscribe buttons over at youtube.com/The Arena Productions. And of course, we're over on Twitter as well at The Arena AMPGNP, which stands for a multi-platform gaming news podcast. So come check us out there. We also have a Discord, so you can come and join our Discord community over at The Arena Podcast. And of course, me and Burley and Carl, we're in there, and we're talking about the gaming news that we talk about here on the podcast, as well as movies and TV shows and anything you fancy talking about. So come and join us over on the Discord there as well. And we also have a webpage over on Podbean, which is for our audio podcast. So all of you that are audio listeners, you can come check out our website there. And we have all of the episodes archived there on the website. So you can come and check that out. And of course, Carl and Burley and I, we're going to be, after we record this episode, we're going to be recording our Moon Knight, latest Moon Knight episode, our spoiler recap and reactions to that. It'll go to our Patreon, and then it will go once it goes public to our YouTube channel. So check that out. And of course, Burley and I are doing Star Trek Picard. Of course, yeah, episode 9. We're going to be recording this coming Monday, and then of course the final episode will also be recording and recapping that, as well as starting Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is going to be starting the same day as Picard season 2 episode 10, the final episode of season 2 comes out. So check that out as well. So now it's time.
They have no confidence in it. They're like,
yeah.
Move on. Watch the next show.
Yeah, watch Strange New Worlds. Yeah.
And those episodes that we're talking Picard and probably Strange New Worlds, not gonna lie, I'm gonna be on a lot of spiritual opium.
Yeah. I'm sure you will be, Burley. I'm sure you will be. Yeah, as will I. So yeah, Carl, he'll pass on that. So yeah, he'll just be watching it later. So and we're also going to be doing as Moon Knight concludes, of course, the Obi-Wan series for Star Wars is going to be starting later in May. So we're going to be doing recaps and reactions to each episode of those two. So stay tuned for those. Okay, guys, it's time to talk about what we're going to be playing or streaming this coming week. For me, I'm still going to be playing Watch Dogs Legion. I might jump back in a little bit more into Marvel's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. I still need to finish those. As well as maybe some more of Anvil, which I was talking about at the beginning of the show. So, Burley, what are you going to be playing or streaming this coming week?
This coming week, continue on with Lego Star Wars Skyward Saga. And,
you were going to say Skyward Sword, weren't you? It was
yes.
coming out. That spiritual opium is kicking in already for you.
No. It's not spiritual.
Skyward lightsaber.
It's vodka.
Okay.
And also tomorrow I'm starting up for the first time. I've never played this JRPG classic, Chrono Cross.
Oh, Chrono Cross. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
Enjoy it.
How about you, Carl? What are you going to be playing this next week?
I'm going to finish out that Lost Eidolons beta. I really want to see everything that they have in there to show us.
Cool.
And then I'm going to go back to Weird West.
Nice.
And I would love to jump into the Warhammer Chaos Gate game on the 5th, but I will be going back to my hometown and for my brother's wedding for the weekend, so I will not be able to play any video games.
Oh, I see. All right. So thank you so much. All right. So to end the show, our indie recording artist spotlight. So this week's spotlight is on These Nuts. These Nuts are the super duo of singer-songwriter, producer Egozy and producer, beat maker, and DJ Peter Spacey. The former is known for his spiky signature guitar sounds, kicking grooves, and multicolor vocal abilities. And the latter is famous for his spacey beats, electronic glitched grooves, and unique modern sound aesthetics. Together, they are spreading and experimenting with a wide arc of characteristic sound and sophisticated production techniques, wrapped with tons of fresh, swaggy groove. From their album titled Spread, and the song is called Duo.
Spread.
Yeah. Spread these nuts.
Yeah. So this has been The Arena, multi-platform gaming news podcast, episode 84. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, Burley of Burleyman Gaming on Twitch and Turn-Based Carl. So we hope to catch you in the next one. So take care, everyone. Peace out.